Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. It's the end of the school year, graduations are happening, summer is here, and for me, summer means binging. I know that my demographic is mostly 18 to 24, so you're either finishing up high school or you're in college. So I thought, you have your summer vacation, so I'm gonna give you a list of TV shows to binge this summer. So the first show on my list is H2O, Just Out of Water. This is my favorite show of all time. I talk about this show with literally anybody that I can, any chance that I get. In this show, we follow three teen girls as they are navigating this new life change. They are now mermaids. One day, they're on a boat, they're stranded. The nearest place to them is Mego Island, which has a magical moon pool. And on a full moon, it can do magical things. So they are turned into mermaids. Any contact with water that they come into, they will be transformed into mermaids. So they're just trying to navigate this new magical life with the life that they knew. How can they keep this secret? How can they learn to master their powers? And how can they be normal girls when they are now magical beings? I watch the show every single month at least once. Now when I say that, I'm only saying seasons 1 and 2. There are 3 seasons. I believe each season has about 22 episodes per season, and they're also 22-minute episodes. I love and adore seasons 1 and 2. Season 3 does not exist to me. The next show, again, is not technically a summer show, but it's a great show that you can easily binge this summer, One Tree Hill. This show is another one of my favorites. I eat this show up, I eat it down. I love this show. A lot of people will say it's just a basketball show. It's not just a basketball show. This show is a teen drama that came out in 2003, I believe. It has 9 seasons, around 23 episodes a season with like 45-minute episodes, so it's great. The show begins being purely family drama. There are 2 brothers that share a dad but have different moms. The dad got one of the moms pregnant when he was 18. He ends up leaving her because he's like, I don't want to have a kid. And then he gets the other one pregnant during his freshman year of college, and he's like, you know what, I'll actually marry you. For some reason he decides, you know, I do know that my ex-girlfriend and illegitimate child still live in this town. I'm gonna move to this town and live there with my wife and my kid that I claim. Now the show really revolves around basketball. We have Lucas, who is the illegitimate child, and he has always been good at basketball, but in spite of his dad, he would not go out and play basketball because he didn't want to hurt his mom. But his brother Nathan, the one that the father claims is the basketball star of Tree Hill High, the coach finds out, you know what, he's good and we need players, so can you come play for us? So now we have these 2 brothers that are playing on this team. They've never gotten along their entire life because of their father kind of pulling them apart. The father being very open about his feelings towards Lucas, and he's like, I don't claim you. You shouldn't even exist. You shouldn't even have my last name. Crazy pause. But as the show progresses, the brothers, they work on their relationship with one another. Despite what their dad has said, despite their upbringing, they just grow their relationship with one another. In this, we get a lot of romances, a lot of drama, a lot of hurt, a lot of trauma. 2 things to say. 1, no one in Tree Hill should be allowed to own or operate a vehicle. 2, everyone in the show needs intensive therapy. I love this show so much. I'm actually rewatching it now. I watched it for the first time my senior year of high school. Watched the entire series in 3 months. It was that good. 9 seasons of just amazingness, and I love the characters. I love all of the little romance. I love most of the romances. Anything where there's cheating involved, I didn't enjoy that romance, but all of the other ones, I loved them. The outcome of everything and just the growth of everyone. There's so much character development that happens in this show with so many different characters, and I just eat it up, and I can't wait to continue to cry to the show right now. The next show on this list is Hart of Dixie. This is a show that I've recently watched and finished. It's one of my mom's favorite shows. She really wanted to watch it with me. We always try to have like a show that we watch together, so this was our show that we watched together more recently. This show follows a young doctor from New York City who ends up moving to Bluebell, Alabama because some random guy left her his practice. She's had one conversation with him. He would always send her letters and things like that. And she, she never understood why. Now she's like, you know what? He left me this practice. I need to go down there and figure out why he left me this practice. When she gets there, she finds out that that man is actually her biological father. And so she's kind of like thrown with all of these feelings, like everything that I thought I knew was a lie. She decides to stay in Bluebell to learn more about this man who was her father. This show was literally so fun, so cute. Again, not technically a summer show, but it takes place in Alabama, which is in the South, which is hot, which a lot of the times people are wearing dresses, skirts, and shorts. So that means summer to me. I just thought this show was super cute, a lot of fun. Again, another show where I cried a lot, but I also laughed a lot. I love the romance in this show. I love the drama, and the show's kind of campy if you think about it. Like it's very witty and cute and quirky, and just these southern people that are literally, you think the stereotype of a southern belle, and that is the people of this town. I definitely want to rewatch this. I don't know when, because I'm watching too many shows right now, but I will definitely be rewatching this show. The next show on this list is a pretty popular show on Netflix. You've probably already seen it, but it's another great show to binge. The Outer Banks. This show takes place in North Carolina, I think, one of the Carolinas. Our main character, John B, is an orphan. I don't know exactly what happened with his mom. I think she left him and his father, and his dad ends up going on a voyage and he's lost at sea, so everyone just assumes he's dead. Like his body is not found. They can't find him. It's been, I don't even know how long. They just assume that he's dead and that he's an orphan. He starts to look at his father's research and he realizes his father left a trail for him to follow to get to a treasure. This show is very like The Goonies. It's literally The Goonies but teenagers. They're going after the royal merchant. So him and his friends, they all try to go after the royal merchant. I believe it's like $400 million or something. It was this ship that sunk. With that is coming a lot of trouble. A lot of people are looking for this royal merchant. A lot of people are also looking for his dad, or just his dad's research and his findings, because I guess his dad was like really close and on it, but he's no longer with us. I feel like I did a really bad job of explaining that show. It's kind of difficult to explain, but just think The Goonies, like going after treasure, following clues, everything like that. The drama of this literally makes me grip, like when I'm laying in my bed, I'm like gripping my blankets and my mattress, and I'm like stressed and I'm tense with them. But it's super fun. I love like high-speed chase, mystery, like treasure hunting. Like I think it's very cool. And there are currently 4 seasons out on Netflix, and I believe the 5th season is coming out either later this year or in 2026. But yeah, the stakes are high, and all the adults in that show that are going after these children, you need to pick up a hobby or get a job because your priorities are not straight. Why are you chasing down 16-year-olds? Are we okay? The next show on this list is On My Block, which is also on Netflix. This show came out before Outer Banks, but they're the exact same show. They're the exact same show. On My Block just takes place in like East Side, California, I think, or like East LA. We have 4 kids. One of their friends is gang affiliated, and basically he has to join the gang. Am I allowed to say this on YouTube? He has to join the gang basically, but his friends are like, we have to find a way to save him. How can we save Caesar? And there was this event, I think this one was in the 80s or the 90s, called Roller Worlds. And there's like hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars that were hidden. But everybody thinks, it's just a folktale. It's just a story to keep the kids optimistic, I guess. But there's one kid in the group, he's like, no, this has to be real. So what do? They start to follow the clues, and the clues turn out to actually be true and real. So they're like, you know what, we're just gonna continue with this, and we're gonna try our best to get him out of this. We need to give him money so he can leave and not have to be a part of this gang that his family has always been a part of. Again, the tension in the show, gripping my bed sheets, stress. This show is more comedic than On My Block. There are a lot of characters that are used for comedic relief in this show, and it just makes it amazing. Like it's more of a comedy than Outer Banks is. Like they're literally the same story, but we have The Goonies if it was a drama, and The Goonies if it was a dramedy. And it's just like the situations that they get themselves into is truly ridiculous. And again, in this one, the adults that are going after these children, please pick up a hobby. I need you to. Or turn yourself into the cops because you're weird. I think I like On My Block more. I actually finished On My Block. I still haven't finished The Outer Banks, because in season 3, the return of a certain character made me dislike the show because he's actually insufferable. The next show on this list is a show that I did binge, and in the speed of which I binged it, I'm not the most proud of because I shouldn't have gone through that fast. The next show is Degrassi, The Next Generation. I watched that show, 14 seasons, 25-minute episodes, 25 episodes a season. I watched that entire show in 3 months. I don't know how I did that because I was a senior in high school at the time, so I'm not really sure how I did that, but I did. No, actually, I started that show at the end of my junior year, so it was like May, then June, and I finished in July. So I think because July was a complete summer, like no school, that's why I finished it so quick. I ate that show up. I found myself crying every other episode. Like, I'd cry one, wouldn't cry the next, then I would cry the one after that. I don't know. A lot of people talk about this show in like a very negative way, like, oh, it's so cheesy, it's so this, it's so that. I honestly ate the show up because I loved how realistic it was for what it was. Like, the things that teenagers go through, I felt very seen, and I felt they were properly represented in that show. We have other shows nowadays where somebody is writing a script and the slang or the terms or just the behaviors of the teenagers are just not accurate of that, like not accurate for how a teenager actually behaves, which always irks me and just kind of takes me out of the show. That's not a teenager and you can't convince me of such. That's a 30-year-old playing a 16-year-old. I see right through your facade. But with Degrassi, like, they were the ages that they were playing, which again can be a little bit controversial to some, but I'd much rather have a teenager portraying that behavior than have a grown man or a grown woman portraying that behavior of a teenager, but like in an overly sexualizing way, because that's what they do nowadays, and it actually drives me nuts and it icks me out, and I don't know why that's like allowed. Like, I get it, you don't want minors to be doing that, but don't even have adults playing minors doing that. That's weird. It's weird. That's a hot take for another day, but I mean, this show broke my heart. So many of the situations that happened in the show, I'm grateful that they brought awareness to it, because I feel like this show tackles a lot of taboo subjects and things that people don't want to address, things that they always try to sweep under the rug: mental health issues, teen pregnancy, issues with your family, substance abuse, all of that. Like, I feel like this show really tackled it in a good light and just kind of showed like the severity of all these situations, these things that we think are so small that can actually turn out to be so big. Even the first 2 episodes were literally that's one way to start a show, because it literally gets you hooked for first episode and you have to get to the next one and know what's gonna happen. Literally insanity. I love this show. I cried so many times. I would literally just be in my room crying and my sister's like, Niyah, what is wrong with you? I'm just stressed, hyperventilating, full tears. There are so many deaths in that show that are just like gut-wrenching, but also just so many situations and things that just could have been avoided. But I'm grateful that they were talked about, and I appreciate the way that they were talked about. I will say though, after season 10, some things start to get a little bit repetitive, but I did see the show through the 14 seasons. I could not even get past the first episode of The Next Class, and I probably won't watch it. And I'm also on a Degrassi rewatch right now, but I'm taking that a lot slower because my mental health cannot do it. I cannot watch that and One Tree Hill at the same time and be a sane, okay, happy person. So, and summer's the time to be happy, so I'm not gonna do that to myself. The next show on this list is Lost. This is a show, I believe, from the early 2000s. We are following a bunch of survivors of a plane crash. This plane ends up crashing into this island. There are many casualties, but surprisingly a lot of people survive. So many different people from so many different backgrounds: kids, parents, pregnant women, like literally so many different kinds of people, pilots, cops, fugitives, all of it are on this island and they can't get out. So what do they have to do? They have to band together and do their best to survive with the materials that they do have. This show reminds me a lot of the movie Castaway, but like the people aren't alone. I love this show, and I actually didn't finish the show. I think I watched the first 4 seasons of it and then it got removed from whatever platform I was using. But right now I believe it is on Netflix and also HBO Max and Amazon Prime. Yeah, I mean, this show is crazy. Again, the stakes of the situation are just, it's really difficult. You know, you're stranded on an island, you have no communication with the outside world, and especially with the people who have kids, like, I don't even know how you deal. Also, there's like some beasts or something on the island, like weird animals that they don't really know how to deal with, and also scary people who kidnap some of the, I don't remember. I definitely need to get back into that show. The next show on this list is Desperate Housewives. I feel like everyone has already watched this show. I got about 2 seasons in. It was removed from a streaming platform, but it's back on a different one, so I'm gonna watch it now. This show was honestly trending on TikTok a couple of months ago. Everybody was binging it for some reason, but this show follows like 4 or 5 women that live in the suburbs. They live in Wisteria Lane, and they're friends, you know, they're close friends, and they're brought even closer due to the death or sewer slide. That's my TikTok censor word. I don't know if I could say that on YouTube, but she commits sewer slide. They're just all kind of trying to figure out, like, she's literally had the picture perfect life, perfect son, perfect husband. Why in the world did she do that? So they're just trying to kind of uncover what went wrong in her life and if what they knew was real. But they have their own drama. We have Brie, who's literally amazing, has the worst husband and kids on the planet. Then we have Lynette, whose husband is again trash, and she has so many kids, and she was forced to give up her life in the professional field. I believe she's like a person in PR, and she's forced to give up her life to take care of her 1,000 children. We have Susan, who again, her husband is a loser. He cheated on her, left her with her child, and she's just, you know, dealing with that loss and heartbreak. And then we have another woman who, her husband honestly isn't the worst stay-at-home wife. She also had to give up her career because her husband was like, hey, if I marry you, I don't want you working anymore. So, but the drama is there. I wonder if suburban drama is actually that heated, but love that show. Need to get back into that. That's definitely on my list and on my radar for the summertime. The next show on this list is Psych. This is a show that I don't ever hear talked about. I've watched it, but I haven't technically. I watched it while my little sister was watching it, and I would just watch a few episodes, but it's literally the funniest show ever, and I definitely want to watch it. It's been on my watch list for a minute, and I really want to get into it. Basically, we're following this guy named Sean, who essentially he's a con artist. He convinces everybody that he's a psychic, but actually he's just very observant. His dad is a cop, and so all his life he's like, you have to notice things, you have to be aware of your surroundings. So with that, he's able to scan a room quickly or learn things really quickly and claim to be a psychic. He ends up getting like recruited by the police force of his town to help them on cases, to just kind of, you know, be their inside scoop. Like, do you know who could have done this? Do you know why this could have happened? Do you understand this? Do you know how they got in? I mean, it's honestly funny because he's just a clown and he has a best friend named Bert, and they are both clowns together, and the people are just believing him. And he's actually the most ridiculous person I've ever seen in my life. If that show was a real world, he probably would have been fired day one because he does not take anything seriously. But that show is funny, and I don't know how many seasons it has. I feel like anywhere from 5 seasons to 7 seasons. I don't know, but I definitely want to watch that show because it always makes me laugh. And it makes me cry sometimes too, but mostly laugh. The final show on this list, 40 minutes into filming this video, the final show on this list is A Different World. This is a show from the 90s, I believe, maybe late 80s into the 90s. This is a spin-off of The Cosby Show, but it follows Denise as she is in college. Yeah, in the first season, we're following her as she's navigating her freshman year of college. We get a lot of side characters that are just amazing and the funniest people ever. My personal opinion, and honestly the opinion of everyone in my household, once she leaves the show is great. I think season 1 is great, but once she leaves, it's even better. So if you find season 1 a little bit difficult, season 2 and on are great, and our new main characters become way better. Denise as a character was just insufferable in that show. I mean, I guess she's just kind of annoying, and she kind of treats people not the best, if I'm remembering correctly. Again, this is not technically a summer show, but I'm just mostly giving shows that are lengthy that you could watch through the entirety of your summer. I believe this show has 6 seasons, and the romances in this show, great. The comedy, great. The fashion, the hair, the makeup, I just love it. Such a fun show. Highly recommend. And Whitley is my favorite, and so is Dwayne. Actually, Dwayne is my older sister's favorite, and that was what she named her car. She named her car Dwayne after that character. So great show. Love. Everyone in my family loves that show. Alright, y'all. Well, those are the 10 shows that I have to recommend to you for the summertime. Even though most of them don't give summer vibes, they are lengthy shows to binge, which summertime is the time to binge and indulge and catch up on all the things that you can enjoy during your school year. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you made it to the end, please comment down below the show that you are going to be binging this summer, whether it's one that I mentioned on this list or one that you thought of on your own. I definitely need new TV show recommendations because I am very much guilty of rewatching things that I've already watched, just because I know what I like and I know what I enjoy, so why not indulge? Again, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that you guys have a great summer. And if you're finishing up your school year, you got this. Keep going. You're so close to the end. I'll see you guys in my next video soon. Bye!